I want to take you back to Los Angeles here for just a second, to Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is, what is he playing at? I don't even know what he's trying to do. He's all over the board. Play cut 11. Here he is playing tough guy. Listen to this.
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear. The horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy.
Good.
You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bullying is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me.
Yeah, good. Tom, do it. Here he is. He's saying that these are people who come in here and pay their taxes. Who was arrested on Friday? A rapist, a murderer, people who are not here just paying their taxes, trying to live a quiet life and be who they are. They're being who they are. Unfortunately, every time they are who they are, they end up, with another 10-year sentence. And somehow or another in California, you're not paying for those crimes. You're just out on the streets. That's who was arrested on Friday.
Yeah.
And he's playing tough guy.
It's important to note this because a lot of times when these debates happen that we've had a million times, we tend to go into the same sort of channels that we've been in before. But this is, we can have a debate about whether ICE should go to a random Home Depot and arrest 45 immigrants, illegal immigrants looking for work. I would support that because I think the law is important. However, you can have that debate, and that is the debate we've been having. This particular immigration action had nothing to do with that. The one we're talking about went after actual criminals. They went after, as you point out, rapists and all sorts of terrible criminals. That was the target of this action. So it has nothing to do with the people he's talking about. And I can't get over how bad Gavin Newsom is in this clip. It is, the performance is terrible. He gave versions of this to like 6 different media sources. And you can tell he's like struggling to find his way into, I want to say, arrest me, tough guy. He wants to say that so badly. But like what that was a much worse version of what Joe Biden tried to do over and over again with like, I'd meet him under the bleachers at the football field and I'd punch him in the face. Yeah. It's that same terrible thing where Democrats have like manifested what they believe tough men talk like. And then they try to recreate it in person. Right. It's pathetic.
Because they're not real men.
No.
They don't understand real strength. They think men just talk tough, like, go ahead. I'll beat you up in the back of the school at 3:00 this afternoon. That's not men. Those are little boys. And that's who the men on the left are. Little boys. They have no idea. And then he starts with a little bit of truth in this next clip. He starts with saying, look, I'm sane, you're sane. But listen to what it goes into, because they always do this. They tell you who they are and what they're planning on doing. Cut 3.
Stop. These guys, these idiots that are jumping up on cars, that are burning these Waymos, these people, that's a disgrace. And the impact they're having on our democracy, there's a lot at risk here. I mean, this is not just a simple act of disobedience. They should be arrested. They should be held accountable. Anyone who attacks any innocent person, including a law enforcement person that's lawfully doing their job, they're members of our community just like everybody else. They go to the same churches. They're good human beings. And, just because we don't like Donald Trump, just because we don't like their orders, doesn't mean you have the right to hurt or harm people. And that goes for them as well. We'll hold everybody to a higher level of accountability. But that's not what Trump is after. He's not for peacemaking. He's here for war. He wants a civil war on the streets of America, not just here. He's testing the boundaries by nationalizing the federal guard.
Hey, that's all you need to know. What are they doing? They want war. They want civil war on the streets, and they're testing their boundaries. That's exactly what is happening right now with the left. They want civil war, and they're testing their boundaries. Period.
It does seem. I mean, certainly we know of organizations that have basically advocated for this, and many of them are on the streets right now.
The ones that are printing the signs for the people to carry in the streets. Yeah. We know who the organizers are. This is why I said earlier today, and Donald Trump and the FBI, they need to start arresting the organizers. Don't go after the people on the street. Go after the money. Go after the organizers, the ones who, I mean, look at this guy. This guy is one of the organizers. I just like to call him Revolutionary Ron because that's what I called him when I first introduced you to him back in 2010. Here he is at a UCLA in defense of La Raza. Now, listen to this guy. This is 14 years ago. Listen to this.
As a militante of Unión del Barrio, a revolutionary Mexican organization here, we understand what the camarada is saying. You're right, this is not just about Mexico. This is about a global struggle against imperialism and capitalism. Our enemy is the same enemy as Hugo Chavez, that Hugo Chavez has. Our enemy is the same enemy that keeps Africa poor. Our enemy is the same enemy that keeps Asia poor. Our enemy is capitalism and imperialism.
Okay, that's this guy, Revolutionary Ron, back in 2011. He was talking about his revolutionary Mexican organization called Unión del Barrio. Unión del Barrio is involved in the organization of some of these protests, if you will. Okay, so they're on the ground. Now, here he is recently talking about his community's resistance to ICE. Listen to this, cut 7.
But what they didn't think was going to happen was that the people would resist and would fight back. And that's exactly what happened in Paramount and in Compton, California, where for 8.5 hours, the people combated in the streets against the Border Patrol. And after 8.5 hours of battle, and it was a battle because there were people throwing back tear gas, people throwing anything that they could to defend themselves and to defend the workers that were being surrounded by over 100 Border Patrol agents. After 8.5 hours, the Border Patrol, the sheriffs had to retreat. They had to retreat because of the fierce resistance of the community. And the hundreds of workers that were in the factories around them were able to escape. They were able to go to their cars and go home.
Okay, so stop. Now, do you hear what he's saying? Remember, who is his enemy? Capitalism, imperialism, all of the things that, all the institutions that make America, America, if you will, okay? They are for the overthrowing of our government. What is he saying this time? He's saying that we're only doing it because of these good people. Exactly the same message that Gavin Newsom is giving you. But notice neither of them are saying we want revolution in the streets. Both of them want revolution in the streets. Gavin Newsom, they always tip their hand by telling you what Trump is doing or what the right is doing. It's always projection. It's what they're doing. Okay, so Gavin Newsom says this. The guy from Del Barrio, he is saying the same thing in all of his other speeches, and we haven't. We're going to be going over all of this on Wednesday night's TV show, and he's only one of these clowns. And I'm not saying he's the leader of it or anything else. He's the leader of his little group, and they are involved with a whole bunch of other groups. Those groups need to be investigated. I mean, it's not hard. You have them on tape. By the way, he's a high school history teacher in California. And he talks about how he is making all of his students into revolutionaries. That's their real goal. Okay, so here's the high school teacher saying revolutionary enemy is capitalism, imperialism. We've got to resist Donald Trump and what they were doing by arresting these people. Again, look at the list of the people that they were arresting and tell me that you are for that. And then the other turn of the table is to make this all again look like Donald Trump's fault. Listen to this representative of California, Democrat, of course, Gil Cisneros. Listen to this. cut 10.
Look, the president is really trying to instigate a confrontation between whether it be law enforcement, the National Guard, and the citizens of Los Angeles, Southern California, to serve his purpose. And that could be, as Luce just said, to distract from this horrible economy that he has created, the tariffs plan that isn't working. I mean, he's even killing the Kennedy Center right now. But he is trying to distract us, and really he's trying to force California into to borrow a term from Game of Thrones, bend the knee to his will. And we're not going to do that. And I can tell you, right, I am so proud of our governor right now and the interview that he gave. But everything that's going on right now is of Donald Trump's creation and making. And they are literally pulling people off the street.
No, they're literally not doing that. But, okay. So what is he saying here? He's saying Donald Trump is just doing this so you will bend a knee. And he's trying to force a war between the federal government and the good people of California. I'm sorry, good people of California, but if that's you I see on TV in the black bloc garb, setting cars on fire, dancing in the streets, how did, what was it, CNN? No, ABC. Please play the ABC cut on how they were describing these very, very good Californians in the streets. Listen to this.
Large group of people. It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between all.
So what are they saying there? That if Donald Trump reacts and sends in the National Guard or the police, you run the risk of having a confrontation that will go poorly and escalate. That's exactly what the left wants to do. But listen to what he's saying. He's describing these good people of California as people who are just having fun watching cars burn in the streets. Okay, well, let's just play that thinking out for a second. I wouldn't be having fun watching cars burn in the streets. I'd be asking myself, good heavens, what the hell is happening to our civil society? What is happening to our civilization? So it wouldn't be fun. But if you were having fun just watching the cars burn in the streets, if police come in and say, hey, move along, why wouldn't you move along? You weren't doing anything. You were just having fun watching these cars burn in the streets. Why would you suddenly have any kind of hostile intent or take the police as having hostile intent if they're just saying, move along? I would expect to be told that because a fire truck should be coming soon to put that out so all of California doesn't burn down again. There is no logic to anything that they're doing or saying, which brings me to this. Speaking of the teacher that was saying he was teaching kids how to be revolutionaries, let me read this. This I found incredible. Apple is debunked AI reasoning hype. Apple has claimed that the new age artificial intelligence reasoning models may not be as smart as they're making them out to be. The study titled The Illusion of Thinking, Understanding the Strength and Limitations of Reasoning Models via the Lens of Problem Complexity, blah, blah, blah. Here's what they say. Models, these AI large language models, they only memorize. They don't think. Let me take you back to school. Kids, remember this, write this down. It's going to be on the test. How is it that we're saying that these large language models are not really human? They're not really capable of outthinking anyone because they only memorize and they don't think. When our schools are teaching our kids only to memorize and not to think.